Picture a mountain, rugged and silent, rising from the desert like a sentinel. Mount Sinai stands alone, its peaks kissed by clouds, its slopes steeped in the weight of the divine. This is where we begin, where a man named Moses, weary from leading a stubborn people, climbed to meet God. The air is thin here, the silence heavy. It's a place where heaven feels close, where the ordinary fades and the eternal draws near. Today, we step into a moment both sacred and mysterious, when God in his infinite glory turned his back to Moses. What was revealed in that act? What truth shimmered in the shadow of God's passing? Let's walk this path together with hearts open, seeking the whispers of divine wisdom. Before we go further, I'd love to know where you're watching from. It's always a blessing to see people from every corner of the world gathered here, reflecting together. And if you're new, please subscribe. It truly helps this message reach more hearts, and I'm so grateful you're here with us. Chapter 1. The Setting of Sinai. The desert stretches endlessly before Sinai, a vast expanse of sand and stone, where life feels fragile yet stubborn. The Israelites, freshly freed from Egypt, are camped at the mountain's base. They are a people in transition, freed from slavery but not yet formed, wandering but not yet home. Moses, their leader, carries the weight of their doubts, their fears, their complaints. He's seen miracles, the burning bush, the plagues, the sea parted like a curtain. Yet here, on this mountain, he seeks something more. Not just signs, but presence. Not just power, but intimacy. Sinai is no ordinary place. It's where God's voice thundered the 10 Commandments, where the ground trembled and the people quaked. Exodus 19 paints a vivid scene. The mountain cloaked in smoke, fire descending, the sound of a trumpet growing louder and louder. It was terrifying, holy. The people stood at a distance, too afraid to draw near. But Moses, he climbed higher. He entered the cloud where God was. There's courage in that, a hunger for the divine that pulls him upward, step by step, into the unknown. Imagine the solitude of that climb, the wind biting at his robes, the rocks sharp underfoot. Each step a prayer, each breath a question. Moses isn't just a leader, he's a seeker. He's known God's voice before, but now he longs for more, a deeper knowing, a closer bond. Sinai is the stage for this longing, a place where the veil between heaven and earth thins. It's here in this sacred solitude that Moses dares to ask for the impossible. And perhaps that's where the story begins to unfold. Sinai isn't just a mountain, it's a meeting place, a threshold, a moment where God's presence feels so near it could break you or make you whole. For Moses, it's both. He's about to ask for something no one has dared before, something that will lead to a revelation unlike any other. But before we hear his request, let's linger here in the quiet of Sinai's shadow, where the air hums with possibility and the heart prepares for wonder. Chapter 2. Moses' bold request. The wind howls softly across Sinai's slopes, carrying the weight of a moment about to unfold. Moses stands alone, his heart pounding, his soul reaching. He's no stranger to God's voice. He's heard it in the crackle of a burning bush, in the roar of parted waters. But now, high on this sacred mountain, he wants more. Not just words, not just wonders. He wants God himself. In Exodus 33:18, Moses speaks a prayer so daring it echoes through time. Please show me your glory. 5 simple words. A plea that carries the weight of human longing. What drives a man to ask such a thing? Moses has seen God's power, plagues that humbled Pharaoh, a sea split in two, manna falling like dew from heaven. Yet it's not enough. There's a hunger in him, a deep ache to know God beyond the miracles, to see him, to grasp the fullness of his presence. Have you ever felt that? A yearning for something more, something beyond what your eyes can see or your hands can touch? Moses stands in that space, vulnerable yet bold, his heart laid bare before the Creator. God's response is tender yet firm. "You cannot see my face," he says in Exodus 33:20, "for no one may see me and live." It's not a rejection, it's a protection. God knows the limits of human frailty, knows that his full glory would overwhelm Moses, like staring into the sun would blind the eyes. But God doesn't leave Moses empty. Instead, he offers a gift, a compromise born of love. "I will make all my goodness pass before you," he says, "and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence." And then the mysterious promise: he will place Moses in the cleft of a rock, cover him with his hand, and pass by, letting Moses see only his back. There's something breathtaking here. Moses asks for the impossible, and God answers with mercy, not with less, but with what Moses can bear. The request itself reveals Moses' heart, a man who trusts God enough to ask for the unthinkable, yet trusts him more to accept what's given. It's a dance of faith, a balance between longing and surrender. We see it in Moses' silence, his willingness to wait in the cleft, to receive whatever God chooses to reveal. And perhaps that's where the lesson begins to take shape. To ask for God's glory is to open your heart to mystery, to trust that what he gives, even if it's not what you imagined, is exactly what you need. Moses' bold request wasn't just for himself, it was for all of us. A reminder that we can come to God with our deepest desires, our biggest questions, and find him faithful, even when the answer is a glimpse instead of the whole. Chapter 3. The Mystery of God's Back. A hush falls over the mountain, as if creation itself holds its breath. Moses waits in the cleft of the rock, his pulse echoing in the silence. God's hand covers him, a shield of divine mercy, and then the moment arrives. God passes by, his glory trailing like a comet's tail, but Moses sees only the back, not the face, not the fullness, just the lingering essence of what has gone before. Why the back? What secret hides in this veiled revelation? It's a puzzle wrapped in holiness, inviting us to ponder deeper. In ancient Hebrew understanding, God's back isn't merely anatomical. It's symbolic, profound. It represents the after effects of his presence, the wake left by his passing. Exodus 33:23 captures it. "Then I will remove my hand, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen." There's protection in this. God's face, his unfiltered essence, would be too much for mortal eyes. Like gazing at the sun's core, it would consume. But the back, it's a softened glow, a manageable glimpse of infinity. Consider the tenderness here. God doesn't withhold out of anger or indifference. He guards Moses' life, offering what can be endured, a father turning away to hide a surprise, or shielding a child from danger. It's love, pure and simple. Moses, bold seeker that he is, receives not denial, but grace. Enough to transform without destroying. Have you known such mercy? A prayer answered partially yet perfectly, leaving you changed in ways you couldn't foresee. Yet the mystery deepens. Seeing God's back also speaks of movement. God is not static, frozen in place. He's dynamic, always advancing, leading the way. For Moses and Israel, this was assurance. God goes before them, through wilderness, toward promise. The back is a promise of guidance, a sign that even when the path is hidden, God is forging ahead. We catch the trail of his faithfulness, the echoes of his steps. It's comforting, reassuring, a reminder that we follow a God who never abandons, but always precedes. And perhaps that's where the wonder truly unfolds. The back of God is not lesser, it's revelatory. In that glimpse, Moses saw goodness, mercy, compassion, proclaimed as God passed by in Exodus 34:6-7. The Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. These aren't abstract traits. They're the residue of divinity imprinted on Moses' soul. His face shone afterward, radiant with reflected glory. A man forever marked by the mystery he beheld. Chapter 4. The gift of the glimpse. The hand lifts slowly, like the unveiling of a sacred veil. Moses peers out from the cleft, his breath caught in his throat. And there it is, the back of God, passing by in a rush of holy light, not a full embrace, but a brush with eternity. It's fleeting, overwhelming in its subtlety. Yet in that instant, everything changes. What Moses receives isn't scraps of divinity. It's a tailored gift, a revelation designed for the human heart, a glimpse that carries the weight of worlds. This gift reveals God's profound goodness. As he passes, God proclaims his own name, Lord, compassionate, gracious, slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. These words from Exodus 34 aren't just declarations. They're the essence of the glimpse, the truths etched into the air Moses breathes. He sees not just a form, but the character of God himself. Mercy in motion, love that endures. It's personal, intimate, like a whisper meant only for him, yet echoing for all who seek. There's transformation in this gift. Moses descends the mountain with a face aglow, so radiant that even the people recoil. Exodus 34:29-35 tells us he didn't realize it at first, the shine of divine encounter on his skin. He becomes a living testament, a mirror reflecting God's glory. The glimpse didn't just inform, it infused. It marked him, empowered him to lead, to intercede, to trust. Short sentences of awe, deeper reflections of change. Have you felt a glimpse like that? A moment in prayer or worship or quiet reflection where God's presence lingers, altering you from within. And yet, the gift humbles. It reminds us of our limits. We crave the full view, the unshadowed face, but God knows better. He offers portions, through Scripture's pages, through nature's quiet beauty, through the still small voice in our souls. A sunrise painting the sky, a verse that pierces the heart, an act of forgiveness that heals. These are our glimpses, the back of God in our daily lives. They sustain. They guide, they invite us to live in the light we've been given, without demanding more. Perhaps that's the quiet power of the gift. It teaches contentment in mystery. Moses didn't walk away disappointed. He walked away illuminated. His encounter fueled 40 more days on the mountain, renewing the covenant, rewriting the tablets. The glimpse was enough to renew a nation's hope. And for us, it's an invitation to cherish what we see, the traces of God's passing, and to let them shape our steps. In a world that rushes for answers, this gift calls us to pause, to receive, to be changed by the partial yet perfect revelation. Emotional wonder swells here, balanced by calm assurance. The back of God isn't a barrier, it's a bridge. From human frailty to divine intimacy, Moses received it fully, and so can we. In our own clefts of trial or waiting, God passes by, leaving glimpses that whisper, I am here. I am good. Follow me. Chapter 5. Following the unseen God. The mountain fades into memory, but the glimpse lingers. Moses steps down from Sinai, his face still shining, his heart anchored in what he's seen. Not the face of God, but the back, a trail of glory leading onward. This is where faith takes root, where seeing becomes believing, and believing becomes following. God's back isn't an end, it's an invitation to move, to trust in the one who goes before us, even when his form is hidden. In the wilderness ahead, Israel will face trials, doubts, enemies, thirst. Yet Moses leads with confidence, carrying the echo of that divine passing. The back of God promises presence. It says, I am with you, ahead of you, preparing the way. Deuteronomy 31:8 echoes this. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. No full vision needed, just the assurance of his movement, steady, unwavering. We live in that same invitation today. Life's paths twist, often shrouded in fog. We long for clear signs, for God's face to light the way. But like Moses, we're given glimpses, the traces of his hand at work. A door that opens unexpectedly, a peace that defies circumstance, a scripture that revives the soul. These are the markers urging us forward, short bursts of wonder, longer paths of trust. Following the unseen God means embracing the mystery. It's stepping out without the full map, knowing he's charting the course. Moses did this for 40 years, through deserts and doubts, sustained by that single encounter. His life became a testimony. God's back is enough to conquer fears, enough to claim promises, enough to enter rest. Have you stepped into that? A moment where partial sight fueled complete faith? And perhaps that's the enduring revelation. God's turning wasn't withdrawal, it was guidance, a call to pursue, to walk in his wake. In our own lives, we follow similarly, through prayer's quiet, service's joy, community's strength. The unseen God becomes known in the following, his glory unfolding step by step. As we draw this reflection to a close, let's hold on to this truth. The back of God reveals his faithfulness, inviting us to a journey of trust and transformation. If this video brought you peace or inspiration, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next one. Share it with someone who could use a moment of encouragement today. May God bless you, and may his wisdom stay with you always. And let me ask, which verse or idea spoke most deeply to you today?